morning. Good morning. Good morning, Nashville. Oh, here we are. Thank you. Thank you to each and every one of you for getting up early this morning on the very first day of April. My name is Lisa Haller, and I am very honored to serve on the Board of Directors for Neighbor to Neighbor and to be the 2023 Board Chair. Thank you. And I do live in a neighborhood. It's just up the street, the Midtown Music Row neighborhood, and I do lead a small group of neighborhood leaders in our neck of the woods. So on behalf of all of our Board of Directors, all of whom are here with us today, our incredible staff, our leadership team, and our sponsors, we welcome you to the 5th Annual Conference for Neighborhoods, brought to you by Neighbor to Neighbor. We know it's been a tough week here in Nashville and for our community. And in a few minutes following this morning's introductions, we will pause for a moment of reflection. Today we come together to learn together how to make our neighborhood safer, how to improve our sidewalks, to share together, and to inspire each other with new ways of thinking, all with a common purpose: to strengthen Nashville's neighborhoods from every street corner and every front porch within Davidson County. As we get started, I'm thrilled to announce that we have set a new record in attendance today, with over 300 folks registered to be here. Congratulations. So I'd like to introduce and recognize the great team of people who lead the thoughtful and the meaningful work of Neighbor to Neighbor. First, starting with our Board of Directors. As I mentioned, everyone is here with us today. Our full-time Neighbor to Neighbor staff, led by Mr. Jim Hawk, our Executive Director, who is just, round of applause for Jim. Jim is celebrating his 10-year anniversary with Neighbor to Neighbor. Congratulations, Jim. I'd like to also introduce you all to our newest member of our team, Wacy Zanu. Wacy just came on full-time. She's been working with us in a volunteer capacity, and she is our new Director of Programs and Grant Development. We also have here today, how about a round of applause? I was looking for her, but I can't see her. She's at the front. Okay. We'll let her know we gave her a round of applause. We also have our staff volunteers today here with us, our non-board committee members, our independent contractors, and a whole host of volunteers. If all of you that I named could just stand up and please be recognized. Thank you very much. Now it's my pleasure to introduce and welcome to the stage Van Pinnock. Van is the Vice Chair of our Board of Directors. Thank you all again for being with us. We have a great day planned for you, and we're going to just have a terrific day. So thank you. Van, you're up.
Well, good morning. At this time, I'd like to recognize some very special people in our midst. First of all, our elected officials. If any of our elected officials are here, would you please stand? Thank you for your service to Nashville at this very critical time. Mayoral candidates. Are any of our mayoral candidates in the room? We thank you for aspiring to serve in a different way. I know some of you have already served and are serving now. Candidates for vice mayor. Thank you as well. And we wish you all well on your campaigns. And finally, I'd like to recognize our sponsors, our champion level sponsors. Amazon is our presenting sponsor. Music City Center, our host sponsor. Google Fiber, our awards luncheon sponsor. AARP, our Mayoral Candidates Forum sponsor. And finally, Holland and Knight, the sponsor of this opening plenary session. So let's give a big round of applause for all of our sponsors. Thank you so much. And now Jeb will come and lead us through this next period.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Half-hearted measures are not going to get us anywhere in this city. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. It is great to see you all. I wish each of you had the opportunity to stand here right now. This is the 5th year that I've had the opportunity, the privilege really, to do this. You all are amazing human beings, each and every one of you. There's a lot of people today who are going to go to that Prince game. I'd like to go. Can't afford it. And there's people that are going to be doing all things, shopping and that. But you've taken time out of your day because you care. You care about your neighbors and you care about your neighborhood. And there's a lot going on right now. This has been a hard week, right? The tragedy at the Covenant School hit home, right? It for a lot of reasons. One is it's our first mass shooting, and then there were children involved in that, and it just makes us cry. And I want us to take a moment now, just a moment of silence to remember those children, the school staff who died this week, and the trauma that has been experienced by all the children of that school, and even neighboring schools that experienced the explosions and the gunshots. So let's have a moment of silence. Thank you. All right, now, if you are part of MNPD, please stand up. If you work in any school in this city, please stand up. Thank you. You all put your lives on the line every day, and we are grateful for all that you do for us. Thank you. Thank you. It also struck me this week that these aren't the first children who have died in our city due to violence. We have children who are killed through violent acts frequently in our city, mostly in working neighborhoods, right? And disproportionately black and brown children. And when we talked about, because there's all these events that were being canceled this week, and you know, I think if you're a fundraiser or a celebration, something like that, that's appropriate. But we were talking about whether we wanted to cancel this event. And we realized that, you know, while prayer and vigils are important, what we really need is change, right? And so coming together with these amazing people here today, right? You're what gives us hope. You are what gives us hope. You are what gives us the possibility to create a better, not just Nashville, but metropolitan Nashville and Davidson County. You, all of you. And so we had to come together. We had to take the time today to sit down and talk with each other, hopefully reason with each other, find the best solutions possible, and hopefully learn and grow so that we can go back to our neighborhoods to do the hard work that we do. And make no mistake about it, it is hard work. And some of you have been at it for decades, and we appreciate the work. And so what we're going to do right now, if you are involved in your neighborhood trying to make positive change, would you please stand up? Give yourselves a round of applause. Don't sit down. If you've been doing this work for less than 5 years, you can go ahead and sit down. More than 5 years, stand up. Thank you. Okay, let's go on. If you're 10 years, please stay standing. 10 years or more, please stay standing. Look at this room and all these people, right? Let's go for 20. How many of you have been doing this for 20 years, stay standing? Still a good group. 30 years. 40 years. Wow. I'm not going to do any higher because as Southerners, we're not supposed to tell people's ages. Oh, wow. All right. So here's what we're going to do in the short time that we have. You're at a table. Are you all sitting with people you know? Okay, because if you are, I want you to move to another table real quick, like lightning. Seriously. Okay. I want you to go around your table, and I want you to introduce yourself to the people there. And there's 3 things I want you to tell them. 1, your name. 2, your neighborhood. And just briefly, what is it that makes you be involved in your neighborhood? Why? What's the motivating passion that you have to be involved in your neighborhood? And literally 1 minute for each person. But if you would just go around the room or go around your table and introduce yourselves, please. Has everybody had a chance? Anybody still introducing themselves? All right, we're going to go on. Thank you for doing that. Look, one of the reasons we've started the conference, and we have events throughout the year, and we bring people together for our classes, for our quarterly neighborhood leadership forums and things like that. But once a year, it's really important for us to bring as many people together as possible, because sometimes, and you may feel this way in your neighborhood, it gets lonely there. Right? Less than 1%, if even that, of most neighborhoods, people are involved in their neighborhood organizations. And sometimes it feels like you're all alone. And maybe you are in your neighborhood, but you're not alone here. All of the people around these tables today are absolutely committed and working just like you in their neighborhoods to make a difference. And so I hope that today, there should be no strangers here. If there's someone you don't know, introduce yourself to them. Get to know them. Because there are people doing brilliant things across this city. And sometimes they don't realize how brilliant they are in the things that they are doing because they're, like you, humble. Okay, not all of us are humble, but most of us are humble, right? And so get to know them, have that conversation. And the other thing, just as we're setting sort of community guidelines today, there's going to be some hard conversations. And when we have those hard conversations on social media and sometimes out in public forums, they get nasty. We don't need to do that here, right? If you don't agree with someone, you can say you don't agree. But you don't have to call them stupid or an idiot or whatever word is your favorite word, right? That you shout at drivers in the road, right? This is a day for us just to enjoy one another and try to be open to new ideas. I I have been open and touched by so many of you. I hate to pull her out, but I wanted to today. This is Wasey's on it. I've known Wasey for over 6 years now. This is the first week ever that it has been so quiet in our office, because Wasey has laryngitis. Wasey started out, she retired, and we met one day in a pizza place and introduced each other, and so I'm going to tell the story, okay? And she's like, interesting what you all do at Neighbor to Neighbor, I'd like to volunteer. And so first thing she came to was when Megan Barry was mayor. She came and she just checked people in at the door. Some of you will remember that breakfast that we had. Checked people in at the door, welcomed everybody. Doesn't know a stranger. And from there she moved in, and at one point she said, you know, I used to do grant writing. Maybe you need me to do that. So we brought her on as an independent contractor. This year, when we had a little bit more money, and everybody, the board said, you need help. And I think they were talking about an extra staff person. We said, okay. We opened it up, and we knew with the hiring, even though with all the candidates, Wasey is just an amazing person. When she got involved 5 years into this, by the 4th year, she began to understand Neighbor to Neighbor, what we were doing. Then she became a member of her neighborhood organization. And then the next year, or 2 years later, she became the chair of her neighborhood organization. So she understands the issues and the challenges that you're facing personally, right? And so bringing her on as the director of our programs and grant development is just a real bonus. And we work in this weird way. We're really a collaborative team. So if anything is done here today that you like, it's not just Jim that did this. It's Jim and Wasey, and it's the other folks throughout our office that are volunteering, our board of directors, our volunteers for the day that really make this happen. And so thank you, Wasey, for being on our team. In the 2 minutes that we have left, I'm going to see if I want to introduce at least one other person, maybe two. Is Sue McKay here? I just missed your name. Sue, where are you? There's Sue. Sue is another retired faculty member from Volunteer State College. And she came on this year to do household disaster preparedness workshops. When we were going around in the tornadoes, after the tornadoes and the floods, we realized that neighborhoods weren't prepared for these things. And so we held our first conference on neighborhood disaster preparedness last September. And part of that is we realized that most neighbors are not prepared. So Sue is working with us as a volunteer, and then Office of Emergency Management has partnered with Neighbor to Neighbor. And we have a 90-minute workshop that we will bring into your neighborhood for free to help your neighbors prepare for potential disaster. So Sue, stand up one more time. That's the face. That's the face. And today, I want your neighborhood to talk to her about having one of these workshops. Last night we got that scare, right? And it turned out to be a dud at least for Nashville. But make sure you schedule a workshop for your neighborhood. Free, and your neighbors will appreciate it, having that resource. All right, 8:30, right on the dot. So it's time for your breakout sessions at 8:40. All the rooms are numbered. I encourage you to check your book to see what room you're going to. Some of you I'll see in a few moments. And again, if anybody sees Alicia Haddock in the room today, or you bump into her, ask her if she's talked to Jim Hawk yet. All right, thanks everybody. Welcome.